Hi, my name's Elliot, and essentially I just recently accepted an ESL teaching position in South Korea, and this video is specifically dealing with just some comments I have to make pre-flight before I actually go ahead and relocate myself there for what I'm hoping for will be a year. This video is mainly for friends and family who want to see what I'm up to. I'm essentially cataloging the pre-flight details, what I went through, and what I expect when I arrive. And this video will be followed up by others shot while I'm in Korea, and maybe when I arrive at my apartment at first. But also this video is for anyone who's considering accepting a position in South Korea for ESL teaching at one of the many fine private schools that they have in that country. And essentially there's a few things I wanted to discuss with anyone who's thinking about coming to South Korea, and that is depending on the institution you go with, you're not guaranteed. I know if you received a contract in the mail or via email from a recruiting service in North America, it looks like a real contract, and it looks like you're guaranteed a position when you arrive, but that isn't entirely the case. In a lot of the instances, you have to pass a final stage of recruitment when you arrive in South Korea. A few days after you arrive, it's a training period. This entails a few tests based on the grammar skills package that you received in the mail, and stuff that has to do with reading skills and company culture, as well as teacher codes of conduct. Essentially, you must pass the 4 tests on the first day, otherwise you'll have to retake them, and then that will also put your scheduling back for the training period. And you also have to successfully complete the training period when you arrive, or you'll be sent home. Your offer of employment will be canceled, and your work visa in Korea will also be canceled. So that means you may be out of pocket a lot of money that you spent in preparation thinking that you were going to move there. That was the case. I haven't actually arrived yet, and I haven't gone through training, but that is the case that I'm facing now. And in addition to that, a lot of people spend $2,000-3,000 in work clothes and stuff they'll need, new laptop, this and that. I am a type 1 diabetic. That means I'm insulin dependent. And I lost my student coverage that I had through my university when I was attending school, getting my undergraduate degree. So essentially I had to buy the insulin out of pocket for cash before I arrive. And the thing is that, a lot of people, if you're diabetic and you're thinking about going over there, you can't ship the insulin because insulin can't be frozen. And yes, you could buy it there and it probably would be cheaper, but you'd also have to, have enough for when you arrive for at least probably the first month. And once you get established with your school and find your residence, you would have to, see an endocrinologist in order for them to write you a prescription. So for me, because I have an endocrinologist here, and also I did work a full-time job and had some money saved up, you can obviously buy the insulin. I'm coming from Canada. Insulin isn't cheap in Canada. It's costing me close to $5,000 just for the insulin and the application equipment, like insulin pens and the needle tips that go on the pens. They cost about $5,000. So if you're thinking about going to Korea and you're unsure about the training, or unsure, just have any uneasiness thinking that you might not be able to pass, then that's something definitely that you want to consider before you're going. I didn't really consider that. I kind of found out about, I knew I had to pass training, I just didn't know about you know, all the standards and steps there are when you're in training. And so essentially what I wanted to say is that make sure you're ready to do this, and make sure you have enough money for at least a month when you arrive, because if you fail the tests at the beginning, although you can rewrite them, it pushes the training back. And so you may be there for up to 3 to maybe even 5 weeks, depending on your situation, without living in a hotel, out of a suitcase, with, you know, basically paying for everything. And so that was something that, I mean, I understood it. I'm not saying that the people who drafted my offer of employment were, you know, doing anything underhanded, but I am saying that I thought the training was just something I had to get through, and I had a job, and unless, you know, some really unforeseen circumstance happened where, you know, I just couldn't perform at all, even on a base level, then they would send me back. You know, I always understood that you could be sent back. I just didn't understand that I am not actually employed by the company that is offering me employment. So essentially the final stage of the recruiting takes place in Korea. You have to pay for the flight to get there. There's no way around it. You can't go to, they can't arrange for you to do the application tests in a consulate, even with photo ID. It just doesn't work like that. You have to come to South Korea with your E2 work visa, and you know, you do it at the organization that is employing you, their training center, wherever it is, maybe Seoul. So I mean, those are a lot of things you have to bear in mind, especially when you have sort of a serious medical issue that has, you know, costly supplies. That's definitely one thing you want to consider. I would have been aware of this more than a week ago. I probably would have had a few reservations about accepting everything, but I mean, I had already purchased a lot of the stuff before I actually found this information out. So it's kind of like, and my ticket's non-refundable, so it's, you know, I'm all in. You know, I might as well at least go and see how I do. So essentially, you know, I bought, you need work clothes, and you need to wear your work clothes to your training. So you don't need to wear a tie if you're a guy, or, you know, but if you do need, you know, dress shirts, you know, nice pants, no logos, no denim, you know, you have to look, you know, business casual, office type stuff, and that's expected to be worn during the training. The training itself involves, you know, some theory stuff. They're going to run you through it, and also mock classes. Your classes, the other teachers that are with you, will be about classes of 5. 5 people with you, and you all take turns being the teacher, and there'll be the students, and there'll be a Q&A period. The only thing is that the training is very intensive, and from what I've heard, I actually contacted my recruiting agency, and they got me set up with a head instructor that works for the company that I'm going to be working for, and he contacted me and explained to me a lot about the training, and you know, it eased my mind a little bit, but you do have to take it seriously, and you can't expect, you know, that first week while you're there, you know, maybe stay in your hotel room and study, as opposed to, you know, and take notes for sure while you're training, and maybe not try and go and party and see all of Korea in the first week. You're going to be there for a year, so there's really no point in, you know, pushing yourself beyond your limits when, you know, not being hungover, not being, you know, lethargic, apathetic, not interactive. You have to be engaging. One other thing with a lot of the schools is that because of the language barrier, they want you to be interactive with the students that you're teaching, so as it'll you know, possibly make them more comfortable with using English, because they're being engaged to use English by someone who speaks English on a frequent basis. So lecturing really isn't, like, I know you probably think you're just going to act like one of your professors and type up some notes, make a slideshow, and just read it out in front of the class for 3 hours every day, but it's just not going to be like that. It is Q&A, it's interactive, it's engaging each student, it's monitoring which ones don't participate right away and engaging them first. It's a lot of hands-on, and really being sort of on the front door of the student's desk, you know, making sure that that they are engaged with you. And most of the classes are monitored by closed circuit television, so they will be watching you when you first start. So I can't really go into any of the details of my contract or the company I'm working for, or what exactly any of the specific details are, because that could end up voiding my offer of employment. But I will say, you know, take your time and make sure that you take your training very seriously, and make that the #1 priority on your mind before you leave. If you don't have a degree in English Lit or teaching or anything related to, you know, English, personally myself, I have a political science degree and a minor in criminology. You know, brush up on your grammar, because a lot of you, like myself included, you know, Canadian system, the literacy test is when you're in grade 10, so I haven't studied seriously the structure of the English language for about 10 years now. So what I would suggest is, you know, take it seriously, study, take notes, and maybe not try to party for that first week. You know, just take your time, and if you are 100% and, you know, you try and you do what they say, and you're not too overreactive when you're criticized, because they will criticize you. Criticism is that you can't just expect to go out there and know exactly what you have to do, even if you have a teaching degree, because our standards are different from theirs. But and I'm obviously talking more about people from North America, because I'm from North America. But you know, make sure that you have enough money for at least 5 weeks, because in most instances you only get paid once a month, and you have to have a Korean bank account to receive your paycheck, and you won't be set up with a Korean bank account until after you've passed training. So everything's on you for the training period. And I've heard in some cases that if you fail training, depending on how much of their time you waste, they may make you pay for your hotel while you're there. So you have to factor that in. From what I understand, the math I did is about $60 a night, $70 a night. And also remember to, if you don't have a credit card, have money for a flight back, because otherwise, I don't know, you'll be contacting the embassy or something like that. But other than that, you know, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to give you the information that wasn't as clear to me when I had successfully passed all of the hurdles of the recruiting agency on the North American side. I did think I had a job, and I did think it was guaranteed, which wasn't the case. Other than that, friends and family, this will be the first video. I think I'll put one more up the day I leave, and you should see me after that video. It should take place again when I'm in Korea, preferably after the training week. I might film one in the hotel quickly. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I hope anything I said was informative and helped anyone that's considering an ESL teaching position in Korea, sort of inform them of, you know, the nitty-gritty details of what happens when you actually get there. Thanks for your time.